Okay, let's look at some secrets in regards to masonry and how modern structures, older structures, iconic structures are essentially temples of sun, earth, moon, and stars, as well as a quadrivium. So this will be part 4 in the series in about New York, and we'll begin with the Washington Memorial Arch, which is in well, not too far away from Greenwich Village, and the very strong links. So it's one of these. It's a temple of sun, earth, and moon, hidden in plain sight, and New York and key other cities around the world are actually, that's what they are. And so the Washington Square Arch, the history of it's in commemoration of George Washington, famous Mason, of course. He was very much into survey, very much into weights and measures. That was very much the founding fathers were all about this, one of the key points in regards to that. But we will connect that to Sam Houston, Huntsville, Texas. His statue has a Freemasonic plaque on it. He, of course, was Freemason. Well, it's the same height as the Washington Arch, and this is one of these secrets hidden in plain sight. Through weights and measures, this can be read through the quadrivium. Over to Disneyland, California. Famously, Club 33 is the only place where you can get alcohol. Walt Disney was technically not a Freemason, but he was an active member of the Order du Malais, which is one of the affiliated bodies with Freemasonry. And the Sleeping Beauty Castle in Disneyland is also 77 feet high, same as Sam Houston statue, same as George Washington Arch. Pentagon in Washington DC, another one of these iconic buildings. The cornerstone was laid on September 11th, 1941. What's the height of that? Well, no points for guessing, because it's exactly the same height as these other buildings. Cornerstone ceremony, the whole thing just, it goes through, covered in early videos. I'll put some links in regards, because I've done one on Disney and I've done one on Texas. So it's not just the Disneyland Castle in California, it's all the other ones, and they have the same pattern. Even though they're all different heights, they have the same pattern happening. It's a repeated, testable, it's measurable pattern, however much people might not like it, however much they might choose to ignore it. The fact is that it's there. But now over to the Statue of Liberty. How does this connect? Well, the architect of the Statue of Liberty was the Freemason Frederick August Bartholdi. But the cornerstone for the base was laid in a Freemasonic ceremony. For the centenary, there was a plaque, again, connections to Freemasons there, and the height of that base is 154 feet. In part 1 I went into some of the aspects in regards to the Statue of Liberty, but let's look at how they connect. So the Cremona scale, which is a system of measure which has fallen out of use, you have to go back basically 150 years to find any reference to it. 7 feet equals 6 Cremona feet, and the base 154 equals 2 times 77, which is the height of the George Washington Arch, the Disney Sleeping Castle, the Pentagon, Sam Houston statue, all these very strong connections. And this will also bring us to part 3. I went into some of the connections in regards to the Woolworth Building by the Freemason architect Cass Gilbert. We have very strong Freemasonic connections to the Statue of Liberty, many others. Originally, the Statue of Liberty was intended to be at the Suez Canal, which has all these other connections. I'll try to remember to put the link in that video. But what do we have? We have a system of numbers that are repeated through. So we have, for instance, 1056. Well, 1.506 feet equals 1 ancient Longfoot, or sometimes referred to as a Persian foot, but some research has been done. For instance, Stonehenge Phase 1 appears to have been built on the Longfoot scale, but we do have it referred to in Persian times, so it is an ancient system in regards to weight and measure. Now, 792, one of the most beautiful numbers in regards to this Hermetic method, because the sun, the earth, and the moon is described by this. So is New Jerusalem, and even according to best current estimates, the speed of the solar system around the galactic core, 792,000 kilometers per hour. The sun, the moon, the earth, the temple of man, and the stars, we all have them there. Even the gunter's chain or the surveyor's chain of 66 feet or 792 inches is a standard. 528. Well, we have not only the earth, we have a 528 solfeggio scale. New Jerusalem, once again described in the number of cubits each edge length. Weights and measures, phi, pi, and Euler's number. And well, 32 and 33 through weights and measures connects to 528 in multiple ways. But even the 32nd triangular number, so 1 plus 2 plus 3, etc., up to 32 is 528. 264, so again we're seeing this scale, and what do we get again? We see the earth and the sun across multiple scales of measure. These form unity points, points of harmony where several different scales come together to bring us multiple levels of knowledge. This is the pattern, this is the system, and again the current, like standard history will say the foot's based on the king's foot and all these other sort of mythology. 132 also, so again we'll see the earth described by the long scale as I mentioned earlier. Older weights and measures, the fish, which is another very important little theme in regard to this whole system. 13,200 fish was a standard measure, but also you'll see it referred to in the nonagon of 220 degrees equals 13,200 minutes. And again, each, for instance, the nonagon, each of those numbers are just, you'll see, repeated throughout the entire system. So, for instance, 220 degrees in the nonagon. Hell's Gate Bridge, which is a replica of Sydney Harbour Bridge, Hell's Gate Bridge in New York, is 220 feet, which will bring us back to this method and this system. So, as an example, we see several different structures very strongly connected to known organisations. And the weights and the measures and the cornerstone ceremonies, all of this bring us back together to weights and measures, architecture, masonry, sun, earth, moon. It's a system of knowledge, and with that, hope you enjoyed and have a good one.